Non-stick Free-Dent moistens your mouth and freshens your breath.
It is 23 until the hour. You know the expression, it was so loud my ears were ringing. Well, that ringing usually goes away a few hours after you hear loud music or some other loud noise. But what if it never goes away? It's a problem millions of Americans live with every day, and our Dr. Howard Torman is here to tell us about it. Tinnitus? What is it?
Both.
Both.
Actually, and it's not, by the way, it's not just a ringing. It's also can be kind of whooshes or kind of buzzing sounds. And the medical term for it is tinnitus or tinnitus. Both are correct. Now, if you sit in an absolutely quiet room, a lot of folks are going to be aware of some sort of noises, buzzing or ringing or whatever, going on in the head. But for some people, these sounds are so loud and so persistent that they really intrude on everyday life and are very distracting.
Over the years, vocalist Leon Thomas has performed with a number of bands, including the rock group Santana. But now he has a problem.
Something is bothering my ears to the point where a serious deterioration, and I don't want it to go any further.
Years of literally being in the middle of loud music has seriously damaged his hearing.
There's an occupational hazard. I stood in front of a gigantic speaker for a year and a half. When I say gigantic, it was taller than the ceiling of this room.
So now he can't even hear normal conversation without a hearing aid. And the only sounds he can hear without assistance come from inside his head.
You get a muffled roar. It's constant. You're never without it. And ever so often I hear a ping. But it's always something like motors, something huge moving. I don't know what it is.
What it is tinnitus. Now, in his case, it's a very extreme example of it, but even if you have a very slight hearing loss, frequently tinnitus comes along with it, especially as you get older. Now, let me show you what's going on, what we think is actually causing this problem to occur. When sound waves come in your ear, they cause the tympanic membrane, your eardrum, to move back and forth, which in turn moves these little bones, which in turn move a fluid that's contained in this part of the ear. Now, inside there are thousands of little hair cells that are sitting there. As the fluid moves over them, they move back and forth, and they make an electrical signal that goes up to your brain. That's what you perceive as being hearing. Now, in tinnitus, what we think is actually occurring is that some of those hair cells are kind of damaged. They're not moving and responding the way they should, so the other ones become overly sensitive and kind of pump up the volume on background noise. That's what causes that ringing. So now you know what it is. The question is, what do you do about it?
This way, Leon.
Tinnitus often comes with hearing loss, so the first step is to get your hearing checked out. Leon's come to New York University, where audiologist Maurice Miller is trying to get a handle on his problem.
Are you ready, Leon? Yes, I am.
The ear does not express pain in the usual way. Tinnitus is the wail of an ear in distress, and it's saying, do something. In the right ear, tell me if your sound resembles this one.
Okay.
All right?
Oh, yeah, that's the one.
Hearing tests can make sure that there's no unusual reason for the tinnitus, and occasionally, to make sure that there's no underlying serious problem like a tumor, a CAT scan or MRI may be recommended.
Tinnitus is a symptom. It is not a disease. It's like a cough or a headache. And we've got to make sure that before we do anything in the realm of treatment, we've established to the best of our ability what the cause is.
And what the cause is for a lot of folks is taking too much aspirin. One of the side effects of aspirin, by the way, is ringing in your ears.
What is that?
It's just one of those things that the drug happens to do to the ear. And the question is then, what do you do about it besides cutting down on the aspirin? Well, for folks who have tinnitus, it doesn't seem to want to go away. There are a variety of things you can try. You can never quite cure it. One of my favorites is the basic alarm clock. You get one that ticks, put it beside your bed at night. A lot of times the sound will be distracting enough that you won't notice what's going on inside your ears. A more modern high-tech solution is this thing. This is a white noise generator. It makes a sound kind of like an air conditioning unit. I don't know if we can hear it a little bit here.
Yeah. It drowns out the...
And it's exactly, kind of masks it. They're also trying to train the ear using these things to teach people's ears to ignore the tinnitus. Another possible solution, which is being tried, is this. This is an antidepressant drug called nortriptyline. There's a couple of studies suggesting that for some patients, this may actually help diminish some of that sound of the tinnitus, the ringing in the ears. Although, again, this is probably going to work for the minority of people, not the majority.
But there is no cure.
There is no cure. It's more a matter of buying alarm clocks and learning to deal with it, unfortunately. But for a lot of folks, it's very common and not a real serious problem.
Dr. Howard Torman, thanks for joining us. Gary?
17 before the hour.